So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the first speaker, Corey. Corey's BDR at G2. Corey joined G2 through Venatrix in July 2019 in their new EMEA office, straight out of university with no sales experience. Corey quickly started to enjoy the sink or swim nature of sales and BDR, forcing him to continuously adapt and experiment. And other than work, Corey's a huge foodie. But Corey's one of two BDRs prospecting B2B software companies in EMEA, and he works both with marketing through the variety of inbound channels and with the wider sales team to actively book high-quality prospect meetings. He continually and consistently coordinates with the wider BDR team, of which there are 10, in the US, sharing best practices, learning, and never slowing down personal development. So please welcome Corey onto the stage with his talk on personalizing your inner machine.
Hi, Shabri. Can you hear me? Thanks very much for the introduction, and thanks to Sales Confidence for inviting me to talk. And yeah, as you mentioned, Shabri, my talk is on kind of personalizing your inner machine. And I guess the first kind of question that comes from that is, what do I mean? I guess to kind of make this as simple as possible, and there's a lot of info going around LinkedIn and about personalization and personalizing your outreach. So making sure that what you say to your prospects and to everyone you talk to on a day-to-day is relevant, which is great, because why not? It works. But what about the flip side? So what about once the prospect actually engages with you, what do you do then? Obviously, you send them to a meeting, but what about after that? What is the process that they go through to eventually, hopefully, become your customer? And I guess my goal of this talk is to try and kind of convince you guys of the importance it is to personalize that path for your prospect, and obviously share a bit of insight into how I personalize my inner machine. I guess specifically with the account executives I work with here at G2 EMEA. So kind of just to set the stage a little bit, to give you guys a bit of insight into kind of what my metrics are and what the structure is here at G2. So my main metrics are same as a lot of people, kind of sales qualified opportunities, the overall kind of pipeline that I generate for the team and for my account executives, and then the kind of a more long-term goal is what I source that eventually closes and becomes a customer. So that's kind of what happens. And again, as Shabri mentioned, there's two of us here in the London office for G2, prospecting for roughly about 5 account executives in the closing role. And how do I personalize my machine with these executives and throughout the kind of the cycle for my prospects? I've kind of narrowed it down to 3 main points I think are the most relevant. And the first one is very kind of specific to my relationship with my account executive. And I kind of boil it down to kind of maintain that engagement with your prospect. So as soon as you get that engagement, it's yep, let's chat, let's have a meeting, not just to stop there, not just to pass the meeting and then forget about it. So the way I work with my account executives, I maintain that engagement with the prospect and with the AE throughout the cycle. So if, for example, the prospect starts to go a bit dark and stops responding, I've already built that relationship with that prospect. And then I can just reach back out from a second point to really understand if now is still a good time to be having that conversation, and to really help accelerate and keep the efficiency going with the conversations. Again, you can be very creative with this. You can also potentially book time in your prospect's calendar and try and kind of get their engagement in other ways if you've built that relationship, which also works. The second thing which I've done, again, this has only really come to me in kind of recent times with the current global situation. And I've kind of coined it the BDR bottleneck, simply because it's got quite a good ring to it. And what do I mean by that? And we're always metriced on sending the meeting straight away. As soon as someone says, yes, I want to chat, we get into this moment of, yeah, damn it, he or she's actually said yes to a conversation. Let's pass it on and just get that money there. What I'm kind of thinking about in terms of the BDR bottleneck is actually more of the long game. So maybe saying no, that they're not ready for that commercial conversation. Maybe they're only ready to learn, but not ready to chat about the commercial side of what you offer. So creating that BDR bottleneck, I think, really creates that trust with the prospect, to then go back towards that first point I mentioned with that close kind of cooperation with your account executive. So personalizing how you work with your individual prospect and whether you send them to a next meeting or not, I think is really key. And this third point is one that I think is probably by far the most important, and it's something which I'm continuously exploring, and I've not actually explored enough myself yet, but it's something which I think does make a big impact. And I would call that more kind of personality matching. So everyone's got a personality, whether they're data driven, they maybe from a sales perspective, they sell more on an emotional side. Understanding what your prospect is as a personality to help them better consume the data and the information you're letting them know about your product really helps them both connect with you and better understand what you offer. And then on the flip side, kind of helping your AE better sell, because you've armed them with the exact types of information that they do to sell best, whether they're a data-driven seller or a kind of personality-based seller, and then helping them understand what the prospect is as well, to help them better connect with the prospect. So this is something which I definitely want to explore further within my role as well, and I think could make a big difference in terms of getting to the point, making the cycle for prospects more efficient, so that everyone can learn better about the product and again, get to the answer quicker if there is a genuine opportunity there or not. The final, I guess, to kind of summarize it all, is BDR's role is not just a top of funnel role. We shouldn't be short-sighted in the sense that as soon as a meeting is done, then that's it. There's this whole inner machine behind where I think we should definitely be involved, continuously pushing cycles forward with these prospects and customers, and maintain that relationship with the AE and the prospect throughout. And if anything, it's a great learning experience to learn about what your next role might entail as well. So kind of my question to you is to kind of maybe reflect a bit on what your processes are as soon as you've actually kind of put that prospect into the next stage of your sales cycle. What's your process to make sure that they have a great experience and that you can make that as efficient as possible? So that's how I would do my kind of personality in terms of personalizing my machine. Hope you guys can get something from that and help personalize your own machine as well.